The game never stops, and neither do we. Welcome to the SDH Network. We are always around the corner from everywhere, and it's time for another edition of the Morning Espresso, brought to you by Oglethorpe University, Atlanta's premier undergraduate learning experience and soccer powerhouse. I'm Jason Longshore. I needed an extra cup of espresso this morning. It was an early start with the FIFA inter-confederation draw for the playoff coming up in March. The UEFA draw for their playoffs coming up in March. We're going to get you caught up on all of that. We're going to talk about some of the fallout from World Cup qualifiers this week. We'll talk about how things are looking for the U.S. men's national team as plans are starting to come into focus for 2026 and a whole bunch of other stuff. Let's jump right in. Let's start with the playoff draws. 16 teams in UEFA woke up today with new hope, maybe some new hurdles they're going to have to jump over, and in some cases, some new headaches. The playoff draw revealed 4 pathways. Each one will send a team to the 2026 World Cup. Always drama. Italy, always drama. 4-time world champions. They have not been to the World Cup since 2014. They have not played a knockout game in the World Cup since the final in 2006. They finished second in their qualifying group. Gennaro Gattuso complained about the qualifying format, but they lost twice to Norway. So they are here. They will host Northern Ireland in the semifinal of their pathway, and then they will have to go on the road, if they win that, to either Wales or Bosnia and Herzegovina. Wales could win 2 home games and go to the World Cup. They might have the favorite spot in Path A, although Italy is the higher-ranked team. It's going to be fascinating. The pressure is going to be suffocating. For Northern Ireland, this is a monumental mountain. They've only beaten Italy 1 time back in 1958. Now, that win helped send them to the World Cup in 1958 in Sweden. Maybe it's a good omen. But the rankings say this is the toughest possible draw that Northern Ireland could have landed. If they somehow win in Italy, they'd be on the road again for the Path A final. Michael O'Neill's group is going to need something absolutely extraordinary. Sweden and Ukraine headline another pathway. New Sweden boss Graham Potter, he gets a massive challenge right out of the gate. Ukraine, they've played their games on the road. They've battled through trauma, travel, uncertainty throughout the cycle. If they win, they will get to host against the winner of Poland or Albania. But Ukraine has been playing their home games in Warsaw. Would they potentially play somewhere else to not give Poland a potential home field advantage in that playoff game? My guess is yes. I'm not sure exactly how you can set all that up. I don't know all of the permutations and regulations on that. We'll see. Denmark, horrible conclusion to World Cup qualifying with a draw to Belarus and then the dramatic loss to Scotland. They wanted to avoid Sweden at all costs. They got their wish there. They'll face North Macedonia, the same team that knocked Italy out of qualifying back in 2022. Head coach Brian Reamer said he was happy with the draw, but North Macedonia are not an underdog you necessarily want to see. In the final pathway, it's Czechia hosting Ireland, with the winner likely facing either Denmark or North Macedonia. Ireland haven't played Czechia competitively since 2008. After their last gasp win in Budapest over Hungary, there's a sense that this team is coming together at the right time. If they advance, they will host the final, which could be epic scenes for them, a huge advantage. That's Europe. Now let's go to the inter-confederation playoff. That's going to be held in Mexico, in Monterrey, and in Guadalajara, 2 sites that will host World Cup matches in 2026. These games will be played in March, just like the UEFA ones. DR Congo and Iraq, they are the seeded sides. Jamaica will play New Caledonia in one semifinal. The winner will play DR Congo. On the other side, Bolivia will meet Suriname, with the winner advancing to face Iraq. 2 teams out of the Inter-Confederation playoff will join the 48-team field. 4 out of UEFA will join the 48-team field. Now, their spots will be determined in the World Cup draw on December 5th. And there is I think dueling bits of information here about how the World Cup draw is going to happen and kind of waiting on some regulations to be announced. Some have reported that the pots will be determined by the highest ranked team in the FIFA rankings in that pathway, with many of these teams going into pot 4 in the World Cup draw, but not all of them. Now, that has not been officially confirmed, because originally the assumption was that all of the playoff winners would go into pot 4, which could create some real chaos if, for example, a team like Italy, who, if they had beaten Norway, they would have been a pot 1 team, but they're in pot 2 according to the FIFA rankings if they got there. But if the assumption is correct that all playoff teams will go into pot 4 in the World Cup draw, then Italy could create a pretty wild group of death situation, being the team out of pot 4 instead of a team that is in those kind of spots in the rankings. So very, very interesting. We will wait for confirmation, and we will let you know once we get it as we get closer to the World Cup draw on December 5th. Make sure you circle that day. Make sure you are going to have a light day at the office, maybe get some things done early, then take off. Come join us at the Brewhouse Cafe. It's going to be an all-day celebration of what's to come next summer. We're going to start at the Brewhouse. We're going to start with SDH AM, as always, at 9:05 a.m. We are going to check in with our friends over in Decatur who are hosting a World Cup draw party. We are going to be at the Brewhouse, myself and Madison Cruz. Doors will open at 10 a.m. We'll have specials on our own Around the Corner lager, of course. We'll have other cool things happening for you at the Brewhouse. The draw will happen at noon. We'll be watching it all together and reacting in real time. And then we will have our reaction show immediately following the broadcast. Then Atlanta Soccer tonight at 6 o'clock on Friday, December 5th, getting you ready for Hawks basketball, but really putting a bow on everything that we have learned during the day in the World Cup draw. And then we're still not done. We're going up to Nofo Brewing in Gainesville for a World Cup draw after party. We're going to have a little trivia contest with some prizes for you. So all day of fun on Friday, December 5th. Make sure you are joining us in one or multiple locations for all of that. All right, let's stay with the World Cup conversation here, and let's go to Haiti because it's one of the best stories happening in the world right now. Fireworks, dancing, singing erupted all across the country as Haiti qualified for the World Cup for the first time since 1974. More than 50 years of waiting. And it's been 50 years of upheaval, heartbreak, and challenge in the nation. In the middle of this incredibly difficult time, the qualification run has become a moment of light. People poured into the streets in Port-au-Prince, in Cape Haitien, in communities across the diaspora. Haiti's back on the world stage, and it's one of the most uplifting stories of the year. Now, it's going to be very interesting with a travel ban for fans from Haiti to come and support their team in the United States, and we'll see if anything changes with that ahead of the World Cup. But with the Haitian diaspora all over the country, the fans of Haiti will be loud and will be boisterous, and it will be very exciting. It'll be a huge addition to the party that next summer is going to be. Let's kind of stay on that, the party that next summer is going to be. We're learning more about how next summer's tournament is going to shape the country off the field. International tourism to the U.S. has been pretty sluggish in 2025, down more than 4% year to date, projected to finish around a 6% decline. But 2026 could flip that completely. Travel analysts are saying that the World Cup could spark a 1/3 jump in foreign visitors next year. Searches for flights and lodging around the tournament are already up 70%. Airbnb is projecting more than 230,000 stays tied directly to the tournament. Some cities are rebuilding infrastructure as well. Foxborough Station outside of Boston is undergoing a $35 million overhaul to move 20,000 fans by train each match day. Platforms, new temporary platforms, new permanent platforms, a crowd flow upgrade as well, all happening now, all for the World Cup. That's going to get tested out here towards the end of the New England Patriots season in the NFL, so pretty good test for all that. That's going to be done specifically for the World Cup, but it will benefit the Patriots. It'll benefit the New England Revolution as well. Depending on who gets drawn where, you're looking at England, you're looking at France, Brazil, Argentina, Portugal, I think South Korea and Japan. Certain host cities are bracing for massive demand spikes for hotel, for flights, for all of it. The draw on December 5th is going to dictate a lot. Let's talk about the U.S. men's national team. The Athletic laid things out yesterday with how the 2026 schedule is starting to look. 2 friendlies are set for March, both at Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in Atlanta. Portugal and Belgium coming to town, 2 global heavyweights coming into the Benz. Then 2 more warm-ups in late May and early June before the World Cup. The second one, or one of them likely in Charlotte, the other one likely in Chicago. Opponents could be set up after the draw. Right now, Germany is set up for the one in Chicago, and Germany and the U.S. can't be in the same group, at least according to the FIFA rankings, so that should be good to go. Mauricio Pochettino has also made a big decision. The 26-man roster will be named before the training camp starts. He doesn't want to have any last-day cuts. He doesn't want to bring 30 guys into camp and making decisions on the fly. He wants clarity, he wants continuity, he wants trust from training session number 1 ahead of the tournament. The team will gather May 27th at the new Arthur M. Blank United States National Training Center, U.S. Soccer National Training Center in Fayetteville. It's a massive milestone for the Federation. It should be open and fully functional by then. After the game in Chicago, the team will head to Southern California and will train at UC Irvine ahead of group matches in Los Angeles and in Seattle. It's one of the most organized and structured buildups we've seen from the U.S. men's national team ahead of the World Cup. Really excited about how all this is coming together over the next 6-7 months. Let's bounce around a little bit. The U.S. women's national team roster has been named for the final 2 matches of the calendar year. Naomi Girma returning after getting healthy and settling in at Chelsea. Jalen Howell is back for the first time since 2022. 2 newcomers, goalkeeper Jordan Silkevitz and forward James Joseph get their first senior call-ups. U23s are going to head to Europe. 3 senior-level players in Ali Sentner, Giselle Thompson, and Eva Gaetino. The expanded youth program, I really like seeing this across the men's and the women's youth national teams, giving these opportunities. Instead of Sentner, Thompson, Gaetino being on the senior roster and maybe playing a little bit, maybe not, they're going and they're going to get to play and they're going to get to be important players in a U23 team. Love that. In the NWSL awards night last night, it belonged to Temwa Chawanga, who earned MVP honors for the 2nd straight season. 2nd 2-time winner in league history, joining Sam Kerr. Other award winners were announced as well. It's a big time for the NWSL at the moment, with the final coming up on Saturday night. All of the awards, all the talk, all the hype, all the excitement here in Atlanta with NWSL coming to town in 2028. Lots of conversation about the growth of this league. I'm excited for the final on Saturday night. You can watch on CBS starting at 8 o'clock. MLS news now, and it starts with the difficult story that we talked about yesterday in Philadelphia. There has been an update. The Philadelphia Union announced that sporting director Ernst Tanner has been placed on administrative leave as Major League Soccer reopens its investigation into workplace misconduct allegations. And there's a lot of them, and they're pretty detailed, and it's not about the tabloid nature of this, although they're horrific and reprehensible. They are allegations. The league did not find enough to corroborate the allegations that they had previous to the article in The Guardian coming out. There were new allegations and new details in that article, and that's why the investigation has been reopened. The Philadelphia Union have put Tanner on administrative leave. He has said that it's not true. Be very curious to see how all this shakes out and how much of a distraction it could be, because the Union host NYC this weekend in an Eastern Conference semifinal, and this has got to be some form of a distraction for the team. We'll see. San Diego, they made Oscar Verhoeven's loan permanent. Monterrey, they are pushing to sign Brian Gutierrez from the Chicago Fire as the young American continues to weigh a possible switch to represent Mexico. And maybe the biggest long-term storyline here, MLS owners have begun a formal succession plan for the post-Don Garber era. At the meetings in Palm Beach in Florida, they began mapping out this process. Garber has been, and I know people have a lot of fun hating on commissioners in any league. It's just part of the gig. But Don Garber has done a job that I don't know if it's been matched by commissioners in other leagues in the U.S. When you look at, maybe a David Stern, maybe a Pete Rozelle, you're talking about somebody who took over a league that was close to collapse, that had barely gotten started, and now is one of the biggest leagues in the world. That's full credit to the ownership, of course, but also to Don Garber's leadership. It will be different coming up soon. I don't know what that timeline looks like. Not sure who is going to replace him. Big shoes to fill. Absolutely big shoes to fill. I think Don Garber's done an amazing job in charge of Major League Soccer, and he's gotten the league to a point that, frankly, when it started in 1996, I don't know if this was a reasonable expectation to be having the conversations about MLS that we have on a regular basis. It's time for the refill. Let's bounce around headlines from around the world. Paraguay, kind of a crazy situation for them in their recent internationals. Andres Cubas of the Vancouver Whitecaps, he missed the matches. He accidentally ran his passport through the washing machine. Yep. Couldn't get things sorted out in time to join the team. So he will be good to go for the Vancouver Whitecaps as they host LAFC in the Western Conference semifinals this weekend. AFC Rushden and Diamonds, they have banned a supporter indefinitely after sexist remarks towards the referee halted a match. Good on Rushden and Diamonds for getting that done and identifying this person. Mauricio Tarrico, he has received a 5-match ban, an assistant coach in the K-League. He made a racist gesture, and a 5-match ban has been handed to him. Opta, they say Liverpool, Manchester City, and Manchester United have the easiest next set of fixtures in the Premier League. Arsenal have the toughest. They have the lead in the Premier League as well. Achraf Hakimi of PSG, he wins the African Footballer of the Year award yesterday. Eder Militao, he has suffered an abductor injury during Brazil's international window. He'll be out for a period of time for Real Madrid. And on the U.S. extended national teams front, the U.S. won the APFC America's Cup in power chair football, beating Argentina in the final, and they've earned a World Cup berth. Exciting. I love seeing the power chair football. I had a chance to see some of the training sessions at a previous U.S. camp, and it was very cool to see kind of how the tactics play out because, just one, the incredible work that the players do to be able to participate and the skills necessary to do it. But the tactics of power chair football is also just fascinating to me. I loved it. Definitely something to check out, and big time congrats to the U.S. for getting the big win there. That's your Morning Espresso for today. For all the latest, make sure you are following us on all platforms at Soccer Down Here. Get subscribed to the Morning Espresso on the newsletter side if you're hearing this on the podcast side. Share it with your friends. It is your daily update on what's going on worldwide, all those stories that you need to know. I would say, at the water cooler talking points, but I don't know how many people that actually applies to anymore. So maybe the group chat talking points we try to give you in the Morning Espresso every morning. We'll be back for more tomorrow. Don't forget tonight as well, I'll be live on 92.9 The Game along with Noel White and with Miles Williams. The Intersection will be live after Hawks basketball tonight, so a little bit earlier than we've been lately. Yeah, we'll commiserate about the Falcons and the news this week that they have been dealing with on the injury front. But we're also going to talk a lot about Atlanta NWSL. I'm looking forward to hearing from Noelle and her excitement about NWSL coming to Atlanta. We'll talk World Cup. We'll talk plenty of soccer. We'll talk plenty of other things. We're going to get into music. We always do. It's The Intersection tonight, probably about 10:30, 10:45 on 92.9 The Game and the Odyssey app. Then I'll take a little bit of a nap. I'll get up. I'll have some espresso, and I will deliver the Morning Espresso to you tomorrow morning. Y'all have a good rest of the day.